Good morning, Miss Munawa and Dr. Karim. Welcome everyone. Yay. Thanks for joining today's discussion on the topic that is quite relevant in today's educational landscape. Is online learning more effective than traditional classroom learning in IPG teacher education? I'm sure that each of us brings our own unique perspective to this important issue. And I'm excited to hear each of your thoughts. To kick things off, let's turn to our ICT lecturer, Miss Munawa, for her insights. As someone who works closely with technology and digital tools in education, we have loved to hear your opinion on this topic. Do you find yourself advocating for online learning in the context of teacher education? Or do you believe that traditional in-person classroom may still hold significant value?
First of all, I want to say good morning to Dr. Corin and Miss Louis. It's nice to meet you today. Okay, let's into today's discussion. I truly believe that online learning isn't just effective, it's transformational, especially in IPG teacher education. Just think about it. The flexibility is offered is unmatched. Students can balance their studies with family responsibility, part-time job, or even extracurricular activity that will other important skill. With online learning, they can study at their own pace and fit learning into their life instead of having to plan their whole life around a strict schedule. Doesn't that sound free? And that's not all. Accessibility is another game changer. Imagine having an entire library of resources like ebook, interactive video, and even global discussion forums at your fingertips. These platforms aren't just convenient, they create a rich, inclusive learning environment for everyone, regardless of location. Doesn't that sound like the future of education? One where learning adapts to the needs of the students. What about you, Dr. Cory?
I heard you, Ms. Mulawar, and I totally agree that the flexibility offered by online learning has its own set of advantages, especially when it comes to time management and accessibility. Unlike physical classrooms that require students to be present at specific times, online learning allows them to access materials and complete assignments on their own schedule. For example, a working professional or a student with family responsibilities can engage with course content during off hours, whether early in the morning or late at night, without being limited by a fixed class time. This level of flexibility can make education more accessible to a wider range of individuals, especially those who might otherwise face barriers to attending in-person classes, such as geographical location or personal communities. Additionally, online platforms often provide access to a wealth of resources, including recorded lectures, discussion boards, and interactive modules, which allow students to revisit material as needed for deeper understanding. Not only it has advantages, but it also has disadvantages, such as in the physical classroom, students aren't just learning from textbook or slides, they're engaging with their classmates and teachers. In a dynamic, real-time environment, they can observe body language, pick up on verbal cues, and hear the different tones in a person's voice, all of which play a vital role in the communication. For pre-service teachers in future, these interpersonal skills are important for them. They need to learn how to read emotions, assess understanding through subtle facial expressions or gestures, and adjust their teaching approach on the spot, based on what's happening in the classroom. In many ways, teaching is as much about connecting with people on a human level as it is about transferring knowledge. And I think that's something that's harder to place in an online setting.
Wow, that's an excellent point, Dr. Corey. And I completely agree that some critical skills are best learned in person. But technology has come a long way with tools like video call, breakout room, and interactive platform. Students can see each other and discuss and work together in real time, just like in a classroom. Imagine a learning environment where students have access to interactive online material but also participate in engaging in-person discussion and activities. Plus, with digital resources, they have instant access to a huge range of information, something that harder to provide in a traditional classroom.
Understood.
This is where the power of blending learning truly shines. It's not about forcing students into one method, but also about offering them the best of both. And with proper training, future teachers like Louise can adapt to this environment smoothly. The goal isn't just to create a system that works for educators, it's to create a system that supports the unique needs of every student. Isn't that the kind of inclusive, dynamic education we should be striving for? What about you, Louis?
Well, thank you, Ms. Munawar and Dr. Karin, for sharing your perspective. Both of you really bring up excellent and interesting points, and I have personally experienced the benefits of both approaches. For example, when the course is over, if I have something I don't understand or miss due to the network issue, I can watch the recording of the lesson or stop at any time to take notes and immediately look for additional material. For more instance, I remember during my teaching methodology course, I had trouble understanding how to write effective lesson objective. Thus, I watched the online lectures that allow me to pause, take detailed notes, and even cross-reference with other resources. It really helps solidify my understanding, but on the other hand, I feel a bit disconnected at times. In-person class have this energy. I feel motivated just being around my classmates and lecturer. This is because I feel that when I have face-to-face classes with my classmates, there is an invisible joy that automatically generates to motivate me to study. For example, in our English teaching course, sometimes For example, in our English teaching course, sometimes I feel a little bored because the lesson is too theoretical. But if I can discuss the knowledge with my classmates at this time, combined with the real-time feedback and encouragement from our lecturer, it can encourage me to continue to stay motivated at the same time. It really motivates me to keep improving and focus on the classroom. Consequently, this environment has helped me build confidence and made me happier to take the course, which is sometimes difficult to provide in an online environment. And how about Dr. Curry?
Exactly, Ms. Lui. There's something incredibly powerful and attractive about the energy of a physical classroom, where everyone is in the same space and working toward the same target. That energy is not just about the lesson at hand, but also about the connections made with each other and their teachers. Let's not underestimate the development of social skills that naturally happen when people are physically present. They engage in spontaneous conversations, collaborate on group projects, and navigate the complexity of body language, tone, and non-verbal cues, skills that are essential for both personal growth and professional success, especially in fields like teaching. For a pre-series teacher like Ms. Roy, these social interactions are invaluable. In a classroom setting, they learn how to manage different student personalities, handle disagreements, and read the emotional state skills that help them understand and respond to the needs of their students. In real time, for example, if a student looks confused or frustrated, a teacher in a physical classroom can pick up on these facial gestures and adjust their teaching approach accordingly, maybe by providing additional support. In contrast, online learning can sometimes feel detached, like there's a wall between the students and the teacher. Virtual classrooms tend to limit interaction to chat boxes or discussion forums. They can also feel more like tasks to check off rather than meaningful connections. For instance, a pre-series teacher might miss out on learning how to respond to a student's nonverbal cues, like a puzzle expression or a nervous fidget, which could be critical in understanding if a student is struggling. In an online class, these cues are often invincible, and so the teacher might miss an opportunity to offer support or encouragement at the right moment. Real-time, in-person interactions in a classroom setting allow future educators to practice these interpersonal skills and build their confidence in managing real-life situations. They learn how to adjust their voice, body language, and even pacing to meet the needs of their students. For example, if a student is disengaged or distracted, the teacher in the physical classroom might walk over them, make eye contact, or ask a question to gently bring them back into the discussion. So, while online learning offers undeniable flexibility, there are aspects of teaching that can only be truly honed in a real interactive classroom environment, where human connection and immediate feedback play a central role in shaping both the teacher and the student's experience.
It is very true, Cory. The classroom just has its own special vibe, but online learning can also build a sense of community in different ways. For example, discussion board let students think before responding, which often led to deeper understanding. Plus, students who are shy in person may find it easier to participate online. Isn't that a win? Indeed, in a real classroom could make the connection between students with each other and their teacher. But think about it. Are we doing future generation a disservice if we don't explore everything technology has to offer? Tools like digital platform, visual reality, and AI driving learning open up new possibilities that were unimaginable a decade ago. These tools are meant to replace teachers, but to support us. We owe it to ourselves and our students to lead their evolution and use this tool to make learning more engaging, inclusive, and effective. The technology isn't static, so we should embrace its potential and adapt it to meet our needs. If we, as a future teacher like Louis, master this digital tool, will be better prepared to teach students who are digital native. Imagine editing interactive apps, gaming learning, or using platforms that adapt to each student learning path. By learning this tool, we aren't just giving it up. We're setting a new standard for education. Whether you want to be a part of that change, Louis, what do you think?
Thank you, Miss Manala. Your great opinions have always benefited me a lot. In my opinions, discussion boards really do help me organize my thoughts before contributing. As an example, I once shared my doubts on the discussion board, a scheme from a management arts class that I faced. I described some classroom problems that I faced that really annoyed me about how students were overly focused on studying instead of completing their homeworks. Their homework is drawing a 2D picture, and even have some students is playing with pens and stealing other people's comes the interesting part. I have a classmate who is usually more introvert, but she gave me very useful comments in the discussion board. She shared her experience using calming background music in art class to help students focus. Isn't this rather than just allowing students to start their art activities directly? Pairing it with the right music can calm them down. In addition, other classmates also make some suggestions at the time that teachers should establish clear rules at the beginning of the class so the class discipline can be effectively controlled and students can avoid inattentive or encourage use of pens. So, the discussions were very insightful and provide me with practical strategies to try in my next internship. Hence, I think the discussion board really helped me a lot. We can share each other's experience and provide appropriate help in real time. But to be honest, I'm not a very patient person to wait, and sometimes I even forget that I once asked certain questions. Therefore, I wish I could get an immediate response instead of waiting for others to reply in the forum. There is a unique energy in a live classroom discussions that's hard to get online. And for some hands-on subject, as well as classroom management, it is helpful to see how my teacher interacts with us. How about Dr. Karin?
Exactly, Miss Loy. Some teaching skills are difficult to master without quick or face-to-face interaction. For example, imagine trying to learn how to handle classroom disruptions or manage a student's behavior effectively in an online classroom. You're at a distance from your students. Literally, it can be nearly impossible to know what's going on behind the screen. Is a student zoning out, being distracted, or maybe even disengaged because they're struggling with the difficult material? You might not know until they speak up, but by then, the moment may have passed. In contrast, a teacher can respond to a raised hand with a quick question, or they can address a disruptive behavior with a simple glance, a raised eyebrow, or a change in tone. In an online environment, these opportunities for spontaneous nuanced interactions are limited. Most online interactions are limited to text chat, emails, or video calls, which make it much harder to pick up that we rely on face-to-face communication. A student's sigh, a fidget, or confused look may not come to the screen, and that means a teacher might miss an opportunity to step in an important moment. For example, a pre-service teacher may know the theory behind classroom management, understanding different behavior strategies, but without the real-world practice or experience of applying this strategy in a live classroom, they might struggle to respond in the moment when some unexpected situations happen. They might hesitate or feel unsure about how to approach the situation because they never had a chance to experience the real-time decision making. This lack of hands-on experience can leave pre-service teachers feeling underprepared when they finally step into a classroom of their own. Online learning, while great for theory and content transfer, simply cannot replace the unpredictable dynamics of a live classroom. That's why it's so important for pre-service teacher preparation programs to offer opportunities for them to practice their teaching in live, interactive settings, whether through in-person classrooms, internships, or teaching practicums, so they can develop these vital intuitive skills.
I completely respect your perspective, Dr. Karin, especially when it comes to value of the hand-on experience in traditional classroom. However, I believe it's important to recognize how technology is making significant strides in enhancing practical learning. Tools like simulation, software, and augmented reality (AR) are revolutionizing in the way we prepare future teachers. Even in online environment, even imagine this: a per-service teacher like Louis log into an AI-powered visual classroom where they can practice managing a group of deserved students. The simulation could present various challenges such as handling disruptive behavior, engaging relaxed learners, or adapting lesson plan on the fly. The best part, they can experiment, make mistakes, and refine their approach, all within a safe, risk-free environment. That statement like an incredible way to prepare them for real-world teaching. And as this tool continue to evolve, they're getting closer to mimicking a real-life scenario. For instance, augmented reality can create immersive environment where per-service teacher interact with the virtual student as they were standing in actual classroom. These experiences are not really engaging but also provide invaluable practice that complement traditional training methods. By integrating this tool into our program, we can bridge the gap between the traditional and online learning while offering students unique opportunity to develop their skills. It is exciting to think about how technology could enhance teacher preparation in such innovative way.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. Simulation will be helpful, especially for practicing how to manage a classroom in a safe and controlled setting. For instance, I can imagine using a virtual classroom simulation to handle a situation like managing a noisy group of students during an art class, where some are painting on desks instead of their canvases. The simulation could let me try out different responses, like starting a fun activity to get students focused again, or using a positive feedback to promote good behavior. It's an awesome way to explore strategy without the pressure of a real classroom. But I'm still unsure if it is the same as handling an actual classroom. In an actual classroom, there are many real-life situations that are difficult to replicate in simulation, such as disruptive students and various unexpected situations. Alternatively, what about in-person support? Like when I'm stuck, I can ask the lecturer after class and get their help right away, have a one-on-one conversation, and immediately clarify my doubts. As an example, this is something I found particularly useful in group activity in my art class. We were doing an activity related to painting cool tones oil paintings, and one of my group members, she accidentally used colors that were not related to the subject. And our lecturer immediately noted this and corrected her mistake in case other people or other students follow suit. Thus, with so many students, sometimes this kind of interactions and personally feedback is harder to replicate in an online environment. Moreover, I sometimes feel isolated and helpless, especially when I have questions and I have to wait for a response online. For an example, once in a teaching theory class, I had a technical problem about adding multimedia to my lesson plans. Thus, I typed my question in the chat box, but the lecturer didn't see it right away because the chat was flooded with messages from other classmates. After that, the live discussion have moved on to another topic, so my doubts were fully resolved. Hence, due to network problems or too many people taking class at the same time, the lecturer can answer my doubts or student doubts immediately, and even their message will be replaced by other message in the comment area. As a result, This really affects the learning efficiency of students. How about Ms. Munawa?
I completely understand your concern, and you raised a very valid point about the importance of immediately interactive in traditional classroom. There's no denying that being able to directly ask questions or clarify doubt in person is incredibly valuable. However, I think it's worth notice that online learning platforms have made significant advancement in addressing this very issue. For example, many online learning environments now include features like instant messaging and discussion board, which allows students to quickly reach out to their lecturer or other students at any time. This tool can sometimes make communication even more accessible because students don't have to wait for special official hour. They can send a message when the question arrives. In addition, live visual session and virtual official hour are becoming increasingly common. This tool enable real-time interactive that closely resemble walking into a lecture official after class to seek guidance. It's also important to consider that even in traditional classroom, immediately interactive isn't always guaranteed. Students who are shy or hesitate to ask questions during a lecture might miss the opportunity altogether, or if the lecture runs out of time, student often have to wait until the next class or arrange a spare meeting. Isn't that true, Dr. Corey?
Yes, it is true, Ms. Munawar. That does happen sometimes. But in a physical classroom, there's something incredibly comforting about teacher's physical presence. Just knowing that the teacher is right there within reach, ready to offer support or guidance, creates a sense of security and connection that's hard to replace in an online classroom. When a teacher is physically present in the room, students can feel the warmth, the attentiveness, and even the reassurance in their voice or body language. For example, when a student is struggling, a teacher can offer a comforting touch on the shoulder, make eye contact, or adjust their tone to express empathy, things that make students feel seen and understood. These kind of interactions, which may seem simple, are actually essential in building trust and a strong teacher-student relationship. Technology might provide the tools, but it's that human interaction, the smiles, the quiet encouragement, the ability to read a student's body language that truly nurtures and inspires. While technology can definitely enhance learning by offering resources, flexibility, and access to information, it simply can't replace the heart of teaching. The human connections that are made when people come together in the same space. When we create those kind of connections, we don't just teach academic content. We shape lives, foster growth, and create an environment where students feel that they belong. And that's something that no online course, no matter how well designed, can replace.
Well, I absolutely see the value of human connection in a traditional classroom. The face-to-face interaction, the sense of community, and the ability to read nonverbal cues are all significant advantage that physical setting offer. However, I think we also need to consider the incredible opportunity that online learning provides, particularly in terms of its global reach. With online platform, students aren't limited by geography. Imagine the wealth of knowledge and expertise they could access from around the world. For instance, they could attend guest lectures from prominent educator or expert based in other countries. Sometimes that might be logistically and or financially challenging in a traditional classroom. They could also participate in international online workshop, giving them exposure to diverse teaching method and perspective. Beyond that, students could connect with peers from across the group, collaborating on projects and sharing ideas in a way that broaden their horizon. This kind of global network isn't just exciting, it's a critical skill in today's interconnect world. There's something traditional setting can easily offer. What do you think, you?
Thank you, Miss Manawa. I think this is a great point because I once attended a virtual workshop with a professor from another country and it was really amazing. I didn't have to spend any effort or accommodation fees and I was able to study with more qualified professor just through online. Even though we are far from apart, this means that learning is no longer blocked by physical distance. Even if the professor is in another country, as long as we turn on our laptop and enter the online meeting platform, we can communicate and learn from each other. This is amazing, isn't it? But sometimes I have to say that online classes make it harder to me to concentrate. For example, if there are distractions around me, it will cause me to lose focus more easily. It's like a test message for my friends, or just a person pass by, or just a bird flying by outside the window. So, in-person class have a structure that keeps me accountable since the professor and classmates will always remind me to focus more on the classroom. So, how about you, Dr. Curry?
Exactly. I agree with you, Ms. Lui. Structure and accountability really are important in the learning process. In the physical classroom, students are physically present and see their classmates engage, which encourages their focus. For example, when students walk into a room and see their classmates actively attracted, raising hands, taking notes, or working in groups, it creates a kind of shared energy that helps everyone stay focused. Online learning, on the other hand, can sometimes make it harder to stay focused, even if students genuinely want to learn. Without the physical presence of classmates and a teacher, right there, it's easily to slip into passive habits, such as checking their phones, browsing social media, or multitasking while they're supposed to be studying. The lack of immediate real-time engagement makes it much easier to get distracted. For example, a pre-service teacher might practice how to keep their students engaged by using strategies like group discussions, hands-on activities, or even simple eye contact to keep everyone involved. These are skills that require practice in an actual classroom environment, where distractions are managed and attention is focused because everyone is physically present. When you're in a physical classroom, it's almost like the environment itself keeps you accountable. You can't hide behind a screen. You're right there, sharing the moment with your classmates, and it's that shared focus that helps keep everyone on track. And that's something online learning can't replace.
Well, I completely agree that distraction is crucial for effective learning. However, I like to point out that distraction can also built into online learning environment. For instance, live session can mimic the special nature of in-person classes, giving students a sense of routine, such as regular check-in, whether through video call, messages, or process report, can help keep students on track and maintain accountability. Deadline for assignment and interactive activity like quizzes or group discussion can also reinforce that sense of responsibility. But what makes online learning particularly powerful is its potential for personalization. Unlike traditional classroom, where everyone follows the same pace, online platform allow students to engage with material in a way that suits them well. For example, students who need extra time can revisit recorded lecture, while those who prefer visual aids can explore infographic or video. Isn't that exciting to think about how this flexibility can empower students to learn more effectively?
I think it depends on personal preference because some of my friends do great online, while others find it hard. Maybe a mystery base, because in face, I would think so because they all have their own benefits, especially in different situations. For example, for more theory-based subjects such as educational psychology or curriculum design, face-to-face class can reduce the likelihood of boredom and make them more interesting and lively because multiple people study together. In this way, we have both flexibility and the idea that relationships are important that we can all agree on. For more example, in a face-to-face class, in addition to the lecture explaining the theoretical knowledge, students consolidate the knowledge in the class. Students can also role-play the classroom scenes in groups to consolidate the knowledge in the class. And at the same time, they can also get timely feedback from the students on our teaching methods. Do you think my suggestion is well?
I think that's a real wise suggestion. A blended approach could be the perfect solution. It will allow us to combine the best of both methods. By combining online learning with traditional classroom methods, we can take advantage of technology's strengths like its flexibility and access to vast resources while still holding onto the human connection that is so important in education. With a blended approach, we can use online tools for things like access course materials, taking quizzes, and participating in discussions forums, allowing students to work at their own pace and at their own time. For example, pre-service teachers could watch online videos or lectures on teaching theory in their own time. But when it comes to practicing teaching skills, they could come back together in classroom for activities like role-playing, group discussions, or classmates' feedback. These are the kinds of experience that truly need face-to-face interaction, and they help future educators build the social and emotional intelligence they'll need in the classroom. It's all about finding a balance that works, where we get the best of both approaches, making sure that students have access to the tools and resources they need, while also nurturing the human connections and real-life experience that are important to teach.
So I could agree more with the idea of combining the best aspect of both traditional and online learning. A blended model offers a unique opportunity to prepare students for demand of any every changing educational landscape. By integrating both approach, we not just meeting the needs of today's students, but also equipping them with the skill to adapt to various learning environments in the future. Think about how valuable it will be for students to become proficient in using both traditional classroom method and digital tools. In a blending learning setup, they could benefit from structured interactive aspect of in-person classroom while also gaining the flexibility and technological expertise that online platform provide. This dual exposure could foster adaptability, which is an essential skill for teachers in the modern era. Would it be exciting to explore this idea further? It could offer a fresh perspective on teacher education and set a new benchmark for how we prepare educators for the future. So, Louis, what do you think?
I think that sounds ideal. A balance that supports us both as learners and as future teachers. And thank you both so much for taking the time today to allow us to have such a wonderful and useful discussion. It really gave me a lot to think about and how. So thank you, Ms. Munawar and Dr. Karim.
You're welcome.